Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Soumya Roy. Soumya has 13 years of experience in UX quantitative and qualitative research with experience in consumer insights and marketing intelligence. He is currently working as UX and user research consultant for Lazada. Today he will be sharing tips and tricks that he has learned over the years to make your app and website more customer centric and retain more customers by leveraging online research. Welcome to the session, Soumya. The stage is all yours.
Hi, everyone. As you know, my name is Soumya Roy, and today I'll be talking about how to build customer intimacy with online research. And along the way, we will talk about all the methodologies that we can use for online research, how we can mix and match them for better results. Okay. So first thing, online research is not a research methodology. It's only a data collection method, just like face-to-face, CATI, CAPI. It's just another data collection medium. So for data collection on online research, we can have various methods. We can have qualitative or quantitative. In qualitative, we can have in-depth interviews, focus group, diaries, ethnographies, or unmoderated usability testing, moderated usability testing. So similarly, for quantitative, we can have quantitative surveys, we can have opinion polls, we can have eye tracking, audits. Similarly, for secondary research, we can have passive monitoring or social listening, which is like you don't have to actively do research like that, but yeah, you can collect data from there, big data. And then there are other subdivisions, like you can do customized versus syndicated versus omnibus, or ad hoc versus continuous, or longitudinal versus cross-sectional. So longitudinal means like you do only 1 day of a research, whereas cross-sectional means only 1 day of a research in qualitative especially, and longitudinal means for consecutive few days we take feedback from the respondents. Okay, next we come to when should we use online research. So first, basic criteria is when there is an internet connection. So it's very important that respondents have a smartphone or laptop or tablet with internet connection. Next, when the target audience is a bit younger in age, then it is better to use online research, because older people may not be technologically that savvy. Sometimes they have to download an app to use for online research, and younger people will be more acceptable, more amenable to that. Third is urban areas. It's best for online research rather than rural, simply because the penetration of technology is much higher in urban areas. And it's also better to use online research for middle to high ACS instead of lower ACS. Lower ACS, because of many of them will have lower educational background. So even if you have explained in detail everything, like what to do, what they need to do, there still might be some comprehension gaps, and that will result in poor data. Second, we move on to why we should go for online research. Why not face-to-face? Of course, in the pandemic world, face-to-face is very difficult. So that is one scenario. Other than that, online research gives you maximum reach for minimum resource. you have to spend minimal resource. You can do your whole research with only 1 or 2 people. And the same person designing the questionnaire or the discussion guide, and same person then sharing it online and collecting data. So it's not like traditional research where you need a researcher and then a whole host of field people. For each center, you need 5 people to for that city to collect data. No, now you can do with only 1 person or 2 person doing the whole process. So it combines efficiency with effectiveness and in-depth analysis, and it gives the data in real time. And you can also see the charts. It auto generates charts. Many of the softwares, they auto generate charts, so you can actually see what people is preferring, what they are saying in real time, in proper, like all the segmentation that you need, like male, female, or by this age group, whatever you need. You can simply, with a filter button, you can do that, and you will get the data and with all the charts. Okay. Then the other thing is, so these are the good parts, but what about the not exactly cons, but what you need to take care of while launching online research? So one is, planning should be very thorough. With online research, you can't have some mistake in the questionnaire, send it out and rectify it after 1 or 2 hours. You can't do that, because by the time you rectify it, even if it is only 1 or 2 hours, you might have already got 100 or 200 responses by that time, and those responses will then be junk. So you have to be very thorough, check everything thoroughly, and only then go for launch. Second is, the size of database matters, because for face-to-face interviews, even over there are refusals, but rate of refusals are lower, much lower. Whereas, for online research, the person can simply ignore the link. You send him an email or in-app push message, they can simply ignore it. And that is what happens most of the times. So rate of response might be only, say, 1% or 2%. So to get a sample size of 1,000, you should have a database of at least 50,000. Next is timing of launch. So you should be careful about when you are launching this survey, when you are pushing it out to the respondent. Because let's say if you push it out in the middle of the week, or just at the beginning of the day when the person is starting his work, the chances are he will be so busy that he will not be able to take the survey at that time, and he will then forget later on. Whereas if you launch the survey, let's say later in the afternoon or in the evening, on Friday or on weekend, you'll have much higher chances of getting a response. And last, for even quantitative study, where usually in face-to-face interviews, we don't give any incentive. But here it is better to give, even if it is small amount, token amount, give some incentive, because from our experience, we have seen, even if it is a small amount, the rate of response increases by a lot. So now let's look at, for quantitative, let's look at a bit in depth. So for online surveys, sorry. So for online surveys, we do a lot of concept testing. So here we have an example of concept test that we did. So we there were 5 games that were chosen which did really well in Taobao, and you can see only 3 over here, the 3 that performed most like well in our study. So, but originally there were 5 games that were concepts that were tested. So these were tested amongst casual and heavy gamers who also use e-commerce. And from the concepts, then we found out that pet and ranch, they were performing best, but differing by countries. So in some countries, ranch was doing best, some countries, pet was doing best, and city was a runner-up across all countries. And we found out that if we can take, so there were 2 options basically. So one is launch both ranch and pet and also keep city. Then it will be too resource heavy. Or what we can do is, and what we did is, we can mix the core attributes, the most liked attributes of ranch and the pet game, and create one separate game. And that is what was done. That is how Fun Farm was born, and where a pet grows strawberries in the farm. And it is still the most popular game, and that actually increased the daily average usage compared to non-players. So players participated more in browsing and buying from Lazada and visiting daily. Second is in-app polls. So you can always do short in-app polls. You have an app, and you where you feel there is a problem, you can, so when the user reaches there, a poll pops up and takes a quick opinion of his. So in this case, what from our own example, what happened is that we found that people are playing games, but they were not claiming the rewards from the games. Or if they were some of them, even if they are claiming the rewards, they were not redeeming it. So what was the problem? So we did like an in-app poll, like what is their problem, to identify that. And it was found that they are not aware. They're not aware in 2 stages actually. So they were not aware that the game gives some rewards. And secondly, they are not aware that those rewards can be collected for real life benefits, where they can, redeem those rewards to get vouchers or rebates. They were not aware of that. So once that was fixed, participation increased. So you can always do these short polls for quick fixes. Next is what can you do for data analysis? So this is same as traditional research, the data that you get and how you analyze it. It's same. It's like you can do cross tabs with the data that you get. You can do correspondence maps. You can do simulations like if you do a conjoint study or pricing study, you can do a simulation using a simulator tool. Or you can do 2x2 metrics, charts, infographics, whatever that is that you can do with traditional data. You can do the same thing here. Okay. Next, moving on to qualitative, and what are the things that we can do in qualitative? So first is in-depth interviews or FGDs. So from our example, so one is that for for online discussion, here I'll go to that next, that how it is slightly different than traditional discussion. So in the first example, the old Lazada versus new Lazada, when we tried to identify like why people were not availing free shipping as much as we would have expected, we found that in the old Lazada app, the free shipping logo was not standardized, whereas people identified free shipping with the green van. It was not standard in the old app. It was not always in the form of a green van. So it was made standardized. It was always as a green van in the new app. And therefore, people recognized it more. And it resulted in conversions, higher conversions from cart to checkout. Yeah, so during, say, FGDs, earlier what people used to do is they used to use a board, a whiteboard, and they used to ask participants to paste, post-it notes on that, writing whatever their ideas is and paste it on the board. So almost similar thing you can do with Miro boards now. So the moderator will use a Miro board, and she will ask all the participants to write down their ideas and post it there. Similarly, for quick opinions, Mentimeter can be used, where you will get how many participants is like saying what, voting for which option, or if it is in verbatim, then it will quickly generate a word cloud, and so the moderator will know what to go next. So you have lots of these additional tools that can be used, online tools that are available for free or for a nominal subscription fee. And you can use those along with your online FGD, and it will give you a better result, better insight. So next is observational, where we have like online diaries, moderated usability testing, or unmoderated usability testing. So in online diaries, we have like contest. We did a concept test online survey in 6 countries, and so here we want to know like what is the path of their decision making, and so from decision to purchase. And so we did it for like several days, so on first day, what did they do, whether, say, if it is a campaign coming on, then what is the preparation that they took? Did they collect more vouchers before the campaign started? What did they like about the the banner that announced the campaign that is approaching? Then after the campaign is launched, what did they purchase? Did they buy something? What did they like? What about the offers? What about the ambassadors, brand ambassadors? And then after that, once the campaign is over, the after party that we call, like what was their overall perception about the whole thing. So this is an online diary where we record all their activity, and or rather they spontaneously give us that feedback. So next is unmoderated usability testing, which we have done a lot of using UXArmy's user advocate app. So in this, what we do is, if we are launching something new, a new design, and we want to know that this new design is like better, more effective than the old design, then let's just like concept testing sort of. So the respondent or the concept, we ask them to perform certain tasks, and once they have performed the task, they can move on from that page, and some questions will be asked to the respondent. Once they have and when they're when they're performing the task, when they're answering the questions, their screen is recorded, their audio is recorded. So it's like spontaneous reaction that, okay, I while I'm scrolling this, I find this very interesting, or this thing, the color combination, I don't like it. It's like very spontaneous reaction, we record it. So the respondents are of course instructed in that way, that they have to speak while doing the activity. And once they do it, it's like at the moment, whatever they're feeling, we record it and we can analyze it. Now, there are a few things that we need to be aware of, or we should be careful. Like, we shouldn't be using jargons and like that. What we found from the usability testing that we did. Anyway, so let's move on from here. And next is moderated usability testing. And this also we have done a lot using UXArmy. UXArmy is deep dive tool that they launched. So here we can play a short clip. Can you hear the audio, by the way? When I'm playing the clip, can you hear the audio? Hi, Sanat. Can you hear the audio? Okay, so you can't. Basically, here there is the voice of the respondent as well as the moderator that gets recorded. And because it is moderated, so what is possible is there can be more in-depth probing. When the respondent is saying something, the moderator can on the spot probe about something which cannot be done in unmoderated usability testing. You can go back and ask the respondent, like, why did you say that? There are some questions after he or she finishes the task, but those questions may not cover everything. But in moderated usability testing, once he or she says something and you want to probe further, you can do it at the very moment. So that is one advantage, a big advantage for moderated usability testing. Another is that you can, so for unmoderated usability testing, you cannot record the face, you can only record the screen. For moderated usability testing, however, you can record the video of the respondent, and therefore you can check the facial expressions. However, in this case, here it is written. So here you will see the participants' video as well. But however, like let me see. Yeah, like when the video is playing, you can actually will be able to see the participants' video as well here, her face. You will be able to see her face. Here it is masked for privacy reasons. So you can check for facial expressions, and as it says that verbal expressions is only 10%. It's facial expressions which gives you 80 to 90% of the whatever feeling that he or she wants to convey. However, there are some drawbacks for this. This moderated usability testing, it needs, especially if you are doing it with in some other country where the language is completely different and you don't understand it, then it requires a simultaneous translator or interpreter. Also, if the moderator and the participant, if there is some disconnect, in the language, then also you will need a translator. So basically, it's an added expense, and it also needs added, planning of execution, because now there are 3 people. So apart from you, there is the moderator, the participant, and the translator, whose time need to match. Whereas in unmoderated usability testing, the participant can take the test whenever they want. It is recorded and sent back to you. That's it. And because it transmits live video, so it also needs a better internet connection, a stable and good internet connection. And now we come to the part where we can mix up various methodologies to give us better insights. So one example is the loyalty membership for Lazada, loyalty club. That was like we wanted to redesign it and wanted to know what is the likes, dislikes, what are their thoughts about the various concepts. So first, we used online FGD, and we used Miro board for planning what were their thoughts, for brainstorming to gather all their ideas. And then we did concept testing, and we used conjoint analysis to test the various trade-offs. And then we went on to online moderated usability testing to find out that whatever we have designed, the prototypes, whether it is good, whether it is user-friendly, whether they are able to understand like different levels, the platinum, gold, bronze, are they able to distinguish between them? Are they clear about what are the benefits, what are the criteria? So that is something that we tested in the online moderated usability testing. Similarly, we can also mix up online diary with unmoderated online usability testing, where we can, we have a online diary spanning over several days, and we wanted to know like this was usability testing for end-to-end, like from when they land on the home page and from to the moment they check out, or even like cancellation process, everything. So what we wanted to know is how they are proceeding from one step to another. But at the same time, we also wanted them to actually do it, so to perform a task. So instead of just online diary, we wanted them to go and perform the task and then come back to the online diary and share their feelings. And then next day again, some other topic, but same sort of structure. They will join the online diary, they will discuss, and then they will actually perform the task and share their thoughts. And this will be repeated over several days. So next is that, online diary versus business insights data and online eye tracking. We are currently like doing a study to measure because the 11/11 campaign just got over. So we were doing and still actually doing the study for that. Like I was saying earlier, that we want to measure what they find interesting, what did they do, did they collect vouchers, did they shortlist whatever they want to buy, and then later on, when the campaign happens, what did they buy, what all did they like, the discounts, the all such things. Basically, the brand ambassadors, the colors, everything is tested. So in this case, what we did is online diary is used, and then along with that, what is actual real life, BI data is saying. So quant data, what is it saying? And we try to match it. And also online, we use online eye tracking to see where they're focusing on the screen. Is it matching with what they are saying? So we can club all this together to get better insights. So they might be saying something on the online diary, but maybe their eye tracking data says something different. Also, another thing is, if their eye tracking data is saying something and we want to probe it, we can probe it through online diary. So if we were only using online eye tracking, we would have guessed, okay, maybe he lingered over there because it was confusing or because it was interesting. We wouldn't be sure. But because we are also conducting online diary at the same time, now we can ask, we can probe, like, why did you stop there? Why did you spend time over there? And last is that elevating campaign shopping experience through time-bound feedback for agile decision making. Nowadays, especially in e-commerce, everything has to be very fast turnaround. So we saw something and ask them quickly, like, what they feel, and do they like the colors? Does it cause eye fatigue? Such questions. And then if there is some dissonance somewhere, we immediately change it. And so this is part of online diary. But then in between that, we also change it and then give them an option to do an A/B testing. So again, like I said, that it can be mixed and matched. And then we use famous K-pop stars for as brand ambassador, and we regularly check what is their engagement level with the respondents, and we track it through BHT data, and also with online diary, and then try to map it together, whether the image of the celebrity is fitting with Lazada as a brand, and whether people are connecting with that celebrity, and whether we need to change the celebrity or keep the celebrity. We take the decision based on that, on social listening, like what is being said on other media portals. We try to track that as well. And yeah, so who will be the next celebrity? You have to stay tuned on for that. Thank you. That's all from my side. I hope you found this presentation useful and interesting. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Hello, Sanat. Are there any questions?
No, there aren't any questions yet, Soumya. Everyone
Okay.
use the Q&A tab in the bottom to post their questions.
Okay. Playing the video. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, so this is how we put in all the questions in a series, but they are not always sent together. They are pushed out at various times. In between, the respondent might be asked to perform some task and come back, or like check out. It might not be like task on an app like UXArmy's user advocate app. Not only that, but it can also be like simple thing that go and check the Lazada page, add something to your cart. Such things can be performed, and we ask them to share screenshots. What did you like? What did you check out? Such things. And once they have posted all such data, then we can probe them. If we find anything interesting, we want to know something more, then we can probe them about that.
So, Soumya, there is another question that says, thanks for sharing, Soumya. Just curious, how do you all decide upon which methodology to use? Since there are quite a lot to choose from, do you have a few most popular ones?
Yeah, how do we choose? The choosing part, it depends on what you want to get. So also like budgetary constraints and such things are there. So one is, let's say, if it is at the initial ideation phase, and or you just want to test the prototype, then it is best to go with qualitative. And so if you are doing an ideation, then do an FGD and collect ideas on Miro board. That is like best thing. Or if you want to test a prototype, so you can do a moderated or unmoderated usability testing. If you don't have that much time, that much budget, then unmoderated is fine. If you want more in-depth analysis, more in-depth insights, especially if you are trying to identify like what is going wrong, something is going wrong, but you want to identify it, then better to go with moderated. Similarly, now that you have collected data and ideas through FGD, and now you have like something that you have built, you have tested it, and now you launch it, and you want to quantify like how many people are using it, how many people are liking it, overall liking and everything. So not just for 10 people, but you want to quantify amongst 1,000 people. Then you go for quantitative, and then there you can do, you test various concepts, or you can just do a simple, simple quantitative study with rankings and or Likert scales, like that.
Okay, so here is another one. How do you decide upon the sample size when other departments asked for a quantitative usability testing?
Yeah, so sample size is something this is something that is like a whole vast topic. There is a formula basically. So if we need to go for some technical nitty-gritty, then there is a formula for calculating sample size. So you can follow that, or you can go by just thumb rule. Like if you are trying to represent the whole country, then yeah, a bigger sample size is better. So you should go with at least 1,000. So let's say you are trying to analyze Indonesia, then of course you need to have a bigger sample size. And then another thing that another criteria that you have to keep in mind is that the granularity that you want. Do you want to analyze it, the data that you will get, but do you want to analyze it only by gender, or only by age, or you want to go like within age, what is the opinion of, I mean within gender, so let's say male, what is the opinion of 18 to 25-year-old male? So, and then maybe even deeper, like 18 to 25-year-old male who play games on e-commerce. So more granularity that you want, bigger sample size you will need.
All right. Thanks, Soumya. That was really informative. We can wait a little more for just 2 minutes for some more questions. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the Q&A tab on the bottom. Okay, so here is another one. Hi, Soumya. Can you give a quick example of in what case eye tracking would be a quite useful for an online test?
So eye tracking can be used for packaging, package. I'm not just talking about e-commerce, by the way, but for online thing. It can be used for package testing. It can be used for advertisement. For e-commerce, it can be used for, when they are going through the page, or when we call it PDP, that is product description page, on the product description page where they're focusing. So all these things can be measured through eye tracking. So let's say, if I may give an example. So there was this study about PDP and what all information people felt are most important and least important. Now we might ask them to rank, and they might say that, something like, let's say, voucher or price, and these things are most important, which is obvious. But what about the rest? Like, let's say, user reviews. How important, like where do they want it to be positioned? So is it very important? Can it be a bit lower, or whether it should be at the top? So these things, if you do an eye tracking test, and you see that where they're focusing and map it, you will get an idea of what is attracting them. You can also get an idea about color combinations, which color combinations they are finding attractive, where they are like bold letters, red color, are they focusing there more, or are they like avoiding it because it is causing eye fatigue. So these are all data that you can get from eye tracking much more easily.
All right. Thank you, Soumya. Thank you for such an informative session. It was a really interesting one. Okay, so we have another question. So an attendee is thanking you for the in-depth sharing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you that you liked my presentation.
Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. We would love to hear your feedback. For submitting your feedback, you can reach out to us at hi@uxarmy.com. And we hope to see you in our other sessions as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.